Okay, so the weirdest video you'll ever see in relation to the game Dungeons and Dragons. I've been building a project since Christmas Day, and while I've been building my project, things have been going on with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro that I've been following. But I don't think this has anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons in and of itself. This is me creating a game based on the way I was raised in the religious world I grew up in, where Dungeons and Dragons was forbidden. It was a thing that you would take to a church barbecue and bonfire and you would burn. So I've been buying all the stuff that the church burnt, I've been buying back 30 years later. So the Fighting Fantasy, Steve Jackson, Ian Livingston. So what do we got? I got number 1, number 2, number 4. Oh no, 3, sorry, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7, 8, and 10. So I'm missing 9. That's a pretty good score. I put a lot of money aside all of last year to do this with, which is why I have bought what I've recently bought. So so the church burnt all of these, and I've bought this one, and I paid a hell of a lot of money for it because I didn't think I had already bought it. So the one that's coming from the States is in mint condition, so I might sell the duplicates so I can buy. But I just found out there's a PDF drive thing. You can download these as PDF files. But again, that's not part of my project. My project is to photocopy, which I've done, photocopy a dozen of these and do what I used to do back in the day as a kid. Now with the board game, the tabletop game itself, my one and only encounter was in 1985. So that's how far back this project goes. And I got into a situation somehow, I don't understand, I don't remember, but my whole team turned on me and killed me. I have no idea what that's about, but I just started crying. I was bawling my eyes out. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not really creating there is a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop meeting once a week. I'm still not sure if I'm going to join it or not. So since Christmas, obviously, you're learning about OGL and Hasbro and Paizo, all that while you're working on this project. So I got this at the beginning of the year, the starter pack, and of course the other one's better, but doesn't matter. Pathfinder. The other one, Pathfinder, is better, but that's not important because it has to be this exact game. In fact, the ones that we played back in the 80s, it was the original cover with the demon on it, but $200 or $300. Not gonna I can't spend that much money on it. So this arrived on my neighbour's doorstep. Now, my neighbour's away overseas for a month, and I seem to be getting these in his letterbox, and this was on his porch, and I thought, that looks like a package for me. And of course it was. So I haven't even opened this yet. So I'm going to be playing these solo. Even though, well, they're not solo games. I know that. I just didn't know that a solo game existed, so I bought these. So, well, okay, truth, I will be playing this my way, not the way it's designed to be played. It's going to be using puppets, so the puppets will be playing this and all of these. So, like I said, craziest video you're ever going to see. I missed the Satanic Panic around Harry Potter being satanic of the devil, witchcraft, and that. But I've collected these from fundamentalist websites, warning you of the dangers of Harry Potter and that. So I bought the most evil things on the planet, the Pokemon cards. I have to tell you, I got bored with Pokemon Go. I just got bored with it. The other one uploaded. This is Magic the Gathering. So even though I don't play the game, I've got the cards because I'm doing this project for a completely different purpose than what these were originally intended for. And that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, where's the rest of your Magic the Gathering cards? Somewhere. Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm going to design my own. Yeah, that's Morkborg. Sorry, Morkborg. I've just came across Morkborg, so I'm going to be designing my own game rules, cards. I'm going to buy the Morkborg dice to play my game. My game is you run into a room that's full of fundamentalists that are delivering children who are possessed by the demon of Harry Potter or Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. And you have to fight against the fundamentalists to rescue the children from the Stephen Dolan's crowd, you know. That's what I'm making. It's got nothing to do with what Dungeons and Dragons, the purpose of it is. It's to do with my childhood trauma of what they taught me and what they did to me as a child, taking and burning books and dice and cards. And I mean, this just came back to me, you know. Oh, there's the rest of your Narnia. Okay, Narnia cards, whatever. Got some other Potter cards somewhere too. But there was one time I remember a sermon on like normal everyday playing cards being demonic and evil and stuff. And I've only just remembered that when I switched the camera on. So that's why I bought, I bought the most satanic dark thing on the planet. The Guardian of the Night Tarot. So I bought some tarot cards, but they're not actual. It's quite nice. But there's no death and other stuff on the cards, like tarot cards. So that's something that I'm going to enjoy by myself. Right. Have you got that? No, I've got it upside down. Sure. So, one of the other things I'll be doing is playing all of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game. Good God. I just bought on Steam the complete set. This is my starter. So when you're talking about graphics that are just this screen with the 3D part in this little box and you've got all this other thing going on, might take me a while to get into it, but I just found out this is the Amiga version from my childhood. But I just found out, I bought it all on GOG, the whole 3. Apparently 3's really bad, but I'll find out. I just found out there's a little TSR, Tense Terminate Stay Resident, whatever, that gives you a map for the PC version. So I again, because I am staying faithful to the beginnings, I want to make my own maps for the Fighting Fantasy series and want to do my own maps for this. So it's, don't know what I'm going to do. Don't know what I'm going to do. It's all up in the air. It's all up in the air. Okay. Okay, what the hell have I just bought? Oh, God. I've now got like 40 dice. Where's the rest of them? We have Dragon of Ice Spire Peak. Yeah, I'm going to make a book like... Well, I mean, this is the future. This is the future. How do you print? How do you get things printed these days? How do you go to a printer and get books printed? That's what I want to do. Make my own, just for myself. Make my own game with my fundamentalist enemy rules. Roll for strategy. Duck. Avoid holy oil. What is this? I don't know what this is even, so. Roll for initiative. Okay. I'm guessing. Charmed, blinded, deafened. Hey, I know nothing, because last time I played this was 1985. So I'm going to be doing a lot of catching up on what all this is, even. These are did they say they're the pre-made? I don't know what they are. I'm not going to open my mouth. Beyond D&D! I nearly signed up for that. I was searching for a group online that I could join, but I found a local one. If I want to join, which I don't think I'll fit in if I'm not in it for Dungeons and Dragons. So here's the rulebook, and I have a artist friend that may be able to do stuff like that. I don't know. That's the DM's thing, I'm guessing. Yep. And last but not least, your character. Yeah, I'm still going to photocopy these if I get into it and play it over and over. You got unlimited printing, photocopying down the road, no problem. And a map, but it's not the huge Morkborg map that the guy's using. I might get some Morkborg. Yeah, I live on the opposite side of the world, so I'll buy one thing at a time, and it may take 2 years to get the whole thing. As it goes out of print, comes back into print. Right, we have the Shire. If it's your own game, can you have like Hobbiton and maybe Narnia? Of course you can. There's no copyright because it's only for me. It's about the world's silliest homemade homebrew game. Is it 5e? Is my game going to be 5e? Or is it going to be OS for old school? Anywho, I'm going to do a lot of reading now. Bye.
The Pokemon trading card game is a new collectible card game that is made and distributed by Wizards of the Coast. What is a wizard? Male practitioner of black magic. Wizards of the Coast The same company that made the best-selling game, Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a heavily occult-laced trading card game which has been very popular in the 90s. And I should also tell you that Wizards of the Coast also owns a subsidiary company named TSR, and TSR is the company that puts out all Dungeons and Dragons material. So let's look at Magic the Gathering, because this is the same company that puts out Pokemon. So let's see where they're coming from. Now, from seeing the symbols, your actual discernment should now begin to be sharpened. How many see a circle? How many see a pentagram? Yeah. If you look, there it is. See that? Magic the Gathering. This is a role-playing game. Now, parents, in case you don't know what that is, that means that your child actually becomes a character in the game, actually becomes a part of the game. And that's what makes it exciting, is there's not many games out there that they can actually become a part of. They can play it, but they don't actually become a part of it. In this particular game, they actually do become a character in the game. And remember, it said that it's an occult game. One of the dangers of this thing is, being a role-playing game, is that it's played with the mind. How many know that the mind is a very fragile thing? And what happens is, in these role-playing games, I'm going to use the example of Dungeons and Dragons because TSR is the one that puts out all their material. The danger of Dungeons and Dragons, or any kind of role-playing game like this, is that it's played with the mind, and when played with the mind begins to lose that fine line with what's real and what's fantasy. And the more you get into the fantasy world, the more it seems real, and all of a sudden now you don't know what's real and what's not. In Dungeons and Dragons, this is a game played by 3 or 4 people. And what you do is you have one particular person that's the dungeon master, and he sets all the rules up for this thing. And then in your mind, you actually fight battles. You go through mazes, you go through dungeons, and you actually fight wars with evil wizards, dragons, demons, powerful satanic beings. It's all